It's nighttime in the big city. The bartender wipes the counter with a damp rag. That car's been parked there all night. There's no one left to call. It's Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan.
Welcome back, one and all, to Theme Time Radio Hour. There are people who strictly deprive themselves of each and every eatable, drinkable, and smokable which has in any way acquired a shady reputation. They pay this price for health, and health is all they get for it. How strange it is. It is like paying out your whole fortune for a cow that has gone dry. Those are the wise words of Mr. Mark Twain. While we've already done shows about drinking and smoking, there's only one unhealthy thing left. So this week, we're going to indulge our sweet tooth, go into Sugar Shack, look at some eye candy, meet back at the Sugar Shack, take some candy from a baby, give some sweets to my sweet, get sweet and low down, and maybe even revisit the sweet bird of youth. Cause this week, on Theme Time Radio Hour, we're going to look at sugar and candy. Seems like we're always playing one of the Liggins brothers. This week it's Joe. Joe played in Sammy Franklin's California Rhythm Rascals. He brought Sammy this song. Sammy Franklin passed on it. That's why you never heard of Sammy Franklin. Joe recorded it himself, and it ended up being one of the biggest R&B hits of the 40s and 50s. Here's the song that Sammy Franklin couldn't hear. Joe Liggins, The Honey Dripper. Joe Liggins, The Honey Dripper. I mean, seriously, how can you hear that record and not know it's a hit? Sammy, what were you thinking? If you believe everything you read in Winnie the Pooh, you think that bears love honey. Well, that's not entirely true. Bears are the major predators of beehives, but what they're really looking for are the brood, which is the larva and pupa. That has a lot of protein in it. The honey is just a bonus treat. While we're on the subject of bears, I guess this blows our chance of doing an entire bear show. Oh well. Here's Delmar Schwartz and the heavy bear who goes with me. The heavy bear who goes with me, a manifold honey to smear his face, clumsy and lumbering here and there, the central ton of every place, the hungry, beating, brutish one, in love with candy, anger, and sleep, crazy factotum, disheveling all, climbs the building, kicks the football, boxes his brother in the hate-ridden city, breathing at my side, that heavy animal, that heavy bear who sleeps with me, howls in his sleep for a world of sugar, a sweetness intimate as the water's clasp, howls in his sleep because the tight rope trembles and shows the darkness beneath. The strutting show-off is terrified, dressed in his dress suit, bulging his pants, trembles to think that his quivering meat must finally wince to nothing at all. Delmar Schwartz, candy-coated poet.
Of the 350,000 known kinds of plants, man places chief reliance on only two, the sugar cane and the sugar beet, for the sugar he directly consumes. Sugar cane thrives in the warm, humid climate of tropical and subtropical areas. Its cultivation dates back centuries before the time of Christ, and Columbus introduced it to the New World.
Elizabeth Cotton was born in 1895 in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. At age 8, she started playing around with her older brother's banjo. She could play it upside down and left-handed, and developed a personal two-finger picking style. At the age of 12, she was working as a domestic in North Carolina, but soon moved to Washington, D.C. She got married at age 15 and had one daughter named Lily. Lily had a daughter. We'll get to her in a second. In Washington, Elizabeth was working in the department store. She found a frightened young girl who was all alone and returned her to her mother. The girl was Peggy Seeger, and Elizabeth quickly became friends with the family. Elizabeth spent the rest of her life working for the Seeger family, caring for Peggy as well as Pete and Mike Seeger. During these years, she returned to her playing, since she was in a household that so appreciated music. She remembered the songs of her youth and played them for the Seegers. Remember I told you to remember her daughter, who had a daughter of her own? Well, that daughter, Elizabeth's granddaughter, is who you hear singing here. It's Elizabeth Cotton with her granddaughter, Brenda Evans. Listen to this, and you'll think it's a traditional song, but it's not. Elizabeth wrote it. Shake Sugaree.
Have a little song, won't take long. Sing it right, once or twice. Oh, out of me, didn't I shake Sugaree? Everything I got is done in part. Everything I got is done in part. Pawn my watch, pawn my chain, pawn everything that was in my name. Oh, out of me, didn't I shake Sugaree? Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Pawn my buggy, horse and cot, pawn everything that was on my lot. Oh, out of me, didn't I shake Sugaree? Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Pawn my chair, pawn my bed. Ain't got nowhere to lay my head. Oh, out of me, didn't I shake Sugaree? Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Pawn my tobacco, didn't I say sugary? Everything I got is done in palm. Everything I got is done in palm. Have a little secret I ain't gonna tell. I'm going to heaven in a ground pea shell. Oh, lot of me, didn't I say sugary? Everything I got is done in palm. Everything I got is done in palm. Palm my farm, palm my plow, palm everything, even palm my old cow. Oh, lot of me, didn't I say sugary? Everything I got is done in palm. Everything I got is done in palm. Palm my hat, palm my shoes, palm everything that I could use. Oh, lot of me, didn't I shake sugary? Everything I got is done in palm. Everything I got is done in palm. Have a little secret I ain't gonna tell. I'm going to heaven and I ain't gonna. Oh, lot of me, didn't I shake sugary? Everything I got is done in palm. Everything I got is done in palm. Chew my tobacco, spit my juice. We're raised king, but it ain't a bit of use. Oh, lot of me, didn't I shake sugary? Everything I got is done in palm. Everything I got is done in palm. Everything I got is done in palm.
Elizabeth Cotton and Brenda Evans, Shake Sugaree. Jerry Garcia recorded a song called Sugaree on his first solo record. He also recorded a version of the song you just heard, but we're not going to play either of those. This is one we got to play, and I think you're way ahead of me. From the album American Beauty, there's the Grateful Dead and Sugar Magnolia.
Sugar magnolia, blossoms blooming, heads all empty and I don't care. So my baby down by the river knew she'd have to come up soon for air. Sweet blossom, come on, under the willow, we can have high times if you look back. We can discover the wonders of nature, rolling in the rushes down by the riverside. She's got everything delightful. She's got everything I need. Takes the wheel when I'm seeing double. Pays my ticket when I speak. Skimming to raise a fire. She can wait in a drop of dew. got everything delightful. She's got everything I need. A breeze in the pines in the summer night, moonlight, crazy in the sunlight, yes indeed. But sometimes when the cuckoo's crying, when the moon is halfway down, sometimes when the night is dying, take me out in a wonderland. The sunshine daydream, walking in the tall trees, going where the wind goes, blooming like a red rose, breathing more freely. Right out singing, I walk in the morning sunshine, the sunshine daydream, sunshine daydream.
That was Sugar Magnolia by the Grateful Dead, written by Robert Hunter, and not with Jay. This one was written in partnership with Bob Weir. Bob only wrote with Robert for a while, later on switching to John Barlow as a lyricist. You probably can hear the noise behind me. You nature fans recognize it immediately as an amber-throated finch, so it'll be no surprise to you that we're coming to you from Costa Rica this week. Francis Coppola is opening a new vineyard down here, and he invited us down, and I'd do anything for Francis.
Hello, this is Keith Moon of The Who here. 2 new Great Shake mix scenes. Great Shakes milk chocolate and Great Shakes cherry vanilla flavors. Both turn milk into a rich, thick shake. So thick, it stands up to a straw. Great Shakes! Great Shakes! Great Shakes! It's so creamy, thick and dreamy. Any place can be a soda fountain now with Great Shakes, yeah, Great Shakes. So if you want your own soda fountain now, go to the store and get Great Shakes. Go to the store and get Great Shakes.
In 1908, George Smith, I don't think that's George Harmonica Smith, claimed to be the first to invent the modern lollipop. I don't know much about the medieval lollipop, but George applied the idea of putting hard candies on a stick to make them easier to eat. He named them after his favorite racehorse, Lollipop. He trademarked the name, but stopped production during the Depression, and the name fell into public domain. But in his honor is the great Millie Small from Jamaica, one of the biggest hits ever to come out of Jamaica, and My Boy Lollipop.
My boy lollipop, you make my heart go giddy up. You are as sweet as candy. You're my sugar dandy. Well, my boy lollipop, never, never leave me, because it would grieve me. My heart told me so. I love you, I love you, I love you so. But I don't want you to know. I need you, I need you so. And I never let you go. My boy lollipop, you make my heart go giddy up. You set the world on fire. You are my one desire. Oh, my lollipop.
That was Millie Small, My Boy Lollipop, on this sugar-coated edition of Theme Time Radio Hour. Americans consume 156 pounds of sugar each year. Just imagine that. 31 5-pound bags for each and every one of us. I mean, we consume 2 to 3 pounds of sugar every week. At the beginning of the 20th century, on the average, people only had 5 pounds per year. Now, I don't mean that you're all just eating sugar by the spoonful. It might not be in the most obvious stuff like candy, but everything like crackers, peanut butter, ketchup, yogurt, fruit drinks. A lot of it has high fructose corn syrup or other kinds of sugar. So even if you're trying to be healthy, the odds are you're far from sugar-free. For a little bit of sugar is a good thing. Just ask Lazy Lester. Go ahead. I'll wait. Here he is with Sugar-Coated Love.
You ought to see my baby, because that gal's so fine. She loves me every morning, every night, and she's always on my mind. She got sugar-coated love. Yes, sugar-coated love. She's a real gone baby, and I don't mean maybe she's mine. I don't have to worry about money. I don't have to worry about clothes. I don't have to worry about anything. She's my baby, and goodness knows she got sugar-coated love. Yes, sugar-coated love. She's a real gone baby, and I don't mean maybe she's mine. You can take your pick of the others, take any one you may choose. I'm a holding on to this baby of mine, 'cause she's got what I can use, and that's sugar-coated love. Yes, sugar-coated love. She's a real gone baby, and I don't mean maybe she's mine. If you wanna know what sugar-coated love is the best love that they got. It's the kind of love make the old feel young and make the North Pole hot. That's sugar-coated love. Yes, sugar-coated love. She's a real gone baby, and I don't mean maybe she's mine.
That was Lazy Lester of Sugar-Coated Love. Lester was a gas station attendant and a woodcutter before he was inspired by Lil Walter's record, Juke. He started playing with Lightning Slim and recorded his own records on the Excello record label. Lester gave up playing for 2 decades and finally made a comeback in the 80s. What was he doing for that 20 years? Mostly fishing, and they called him Lazy. Well, while we're down in Jay Miller's studio, who produced most of the records on Excello, let's play another record from that label. This one's a little more countrified, and it's by an artist by the name of Ray Batts. I don't know anything about Ray Batts, except this song. So here he is, another mystery man, another great record, Stealing Sugar.
They caught me stealing sugar, and they threw me into jail. And I sent for my baby, come and go, my baby. They caught me stealing sugar, and she turned me down. Says I caught you stealing sugar, boy, they ought to run you out of town. sugar for a mighty long, long time. But they finally caught me stealing. I guess I'll have to pay my fine. They took me to the courthouse. I got 10 years in the pen. But I told that judge when I get out, I'm going to steal again. For I like stealing sugar. Stealing wrong, I'm told. But I'm going to steal a lot of sugar before they tell me I'm too old.
If you gotta go to jail, don't tell them you're in there for stealing sugar. There's that mystery man, Ray Batts, and he was caught stealing sugar. Perhaps he stole sucrose, which is what table sugar is. You'd recognize it if you saw it. It's white crystal. Probably have a bowl of it on your table. Or it could have been castor sugar. It's like a superfine white sugar. Bakeries use it for making meringue and syrups, because it dissolves easily. Maybe it was brown sugar. Famous for the question, how come your dance so good? Or maybe it was powdered sugar. That's why granulated sugar crossed very fine, like a powdered wheat. Turbinado sugar is steam clean raw sugar. There's also sugar in the raw. And of course, there's sugar and spice and all things nice. That's what little girls are made of. Lee Hazelwood wrote a song for Nancy Sinatra called Sugar Town. It was a big hit, but for some reason, like a lot of other of Nancy's records, it had a huge following in Singapore. I don't know why, but you play a Nancy Sinatra record, and I'll play a version of it by a band from Singapore. You don't believe me? Listen to this. Here's Lara Tan, backed by the Trailers, with Nancy Sinatra's Sugar Town.
我生来就是喜欢蹦蹦跳，妈妈把我当作小宝宝，生活快乐像在天堂，我住在咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻 Sugar Town。我身边围着一群少年郎，整天这个追求那个叫，他们没有一个知道我住在咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻 Sugar Town。无聊无聊，实在太无聊，铁塔少年郎我不要，因为我心里早已有个他，他住在咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻 Sugar Town。对的咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻咻 Sugar Town。啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦。
There's Lara and the Trailers, Sugar Town. There's lots of famous sugar towns, and there's Sugar Land, Texas, the headquarters of Imperial Sugar. There's also Chocolate Town, which is Hershey, Pennsylvania. And as George Clinton would tell you, there's also Chocolate City.
Are you with me out there?
We're talking about sugar and candy here on Theme Time Radio Hour. Sugar has no fat, and it's 100% natural. But it still isn't as sweet as the one you love. As Joe Tex is going to sing about. B-side of his single, The Love You Save. Here's Preachin' Joe from Rogers, Texas. If sugar was as sweet as you.
Listen, baby, if sugar was as sweet as you, honey, sugar just couldn't be bought. They wouldn't sell it in the store. If sugar was as sweet as you, baby, sugar just couldn't be bought. Oh no, you know that you're so sweet, you make sugar taste just like salt. Oh yeah. Listen, baby, all of my life I suffered with a complex. I didn't think nobody cared about where I was going or how I was to get there. But then my little life was spared, because you came along and you showed me I was wrong. Now I think that I can carry on. Listen, baby, if sugar was as sweet as you, honey, sugar just couldn't be bought. Stick your finger in my coffee. If sugar was as sweet as you, baby, sugar just couldn't be bought. Oh no, you woman, you're so sweet, you make sugar taste just like salt. Yeah. Listen, baby, take all the sugar cane down in Louisiana and take it to the sugar cane mill and grind yourself some of the finest sugar. It wouldn't change the way that I feel, because in order to find a sugar sweet as mine, you'd have to search for a long time. Woman, listen, if sugar was as sweet as you, baby, sugar just couldn't be bought. Told you they would sell it in the store. If sugar was as sweet as you, baby, sugar just couldn't be bought. I feel this might be this is it. Listen, baby, you know that you're so sweet, you make sugar taste just like salt. Get me, everybody, got to say your sugar, boy, yeah, was as sweet as you, baby, sugar just can't be bought. Yeah, sounding good now. Oh, yeah, listen, baby, all right, they don't sugar nowhere. All right, oh no, yeah, tell everybody that they won't listen to me. Yeah, Lord have mercy. Yeah, it's all right.
There's the man with the complex, Joe Tex. He writes them, he sings them. In 1972, Joe converted to Islam and changed his off-stage name to Joseph Aziz. He had his last top 10 hit 7 years later with Ain't Gonna Bump No More with No Big Fat Woman. Joe Tex, no substitute for him. There are substitutes for sugar, however. The oldest one is saccharin. There's also sucro, aspartame, equal, NutraSweet, and Splenda. You go into a restaurant now, they bring you a little bowl with 6 different colored packages. Everyone likes something different in their coffee.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
We told you the story of the Strangeloves, but it bears repeating really quickly. There were 3 guys from Brooklyn: Bob Feldman, Jerry Goldstein, and Richard Gotterer. They were writers and producers, and they had a hit with the Angels, My Boyfriend's Back. In the mid-60s, when everyone was listening to English music, you know, the British invasion, they decided they wanted to get in on the act. These 3 guys told people they were from Australia, a town that didn't exist called Armstrong, where they were wealthy sheep herders who had developed a rare crossbreed. Well, none of this was true, but they had a couple of hit records nonetheless. This one had a second life when it was covered by Bow Wow Wow. But here's the original. The Strangeloves, I Want Candy. Listen to that bow diddly beat.
I know a girl who's so sweet.
the Strangeloves? I want candy. Hey guys, Johnny Otis is on the phone. He wants to have a little talk with you. Well, the phones are lighting up. We must have a lot of sugar and candy fans out there. Let's see who's on line number 2. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hi,
Hello there, what's your name?
I'm Candy McNeil.
Where you calling from, Candy?
I'm calling from Rockville, Maryland.
Rockville, Maryland.
Yeah, Rockville, Maryland. It's the Valentine City.
Oh, sure, of course. Well, what can I do for you, Candy?
Well, I remember when I was a kid, there was a song that I used to hear. It was something about peppermint trees, and there were streams of lemonade, and I think there was like a lake of soda pop. People just think I'm crazy when I talk about it. Could you possibly tell me if I'm dreaming or if that's actually the song?
Well, Candy, you're not dreaming, and you're not crazy. There is a song like that. We talk about Harry McClintock. We played him on our Rich Man, Poor Man show. We told you about him being an actor, poet, and a painter, and a songwriter. He wrote a song called The Big Rock Candy Mountain from the perspective of a hobo. He gained experience traveling all over the land with the unemployed. He had great respect for the hobos and bums and became their musical voice. The song, Big Rock Candy Mountain, is about a heaven for the homeless. The dogs have rubber teeth, the police have wooden legs, the jail bars are made of tin. They're gonna hang the jerk who thought of work. Well, it's got a catchy tune, and kids loved it, but these weren't appropriate words for kids, so they changed it. The cigarette trees became the peppermint trees that you remember. Streams of alcohol, that's right, they became the streams of lemonade. And that lake of soda pop you asked about is really a lake of whiskey. People like Burl Ives recorded the kids' version, and it's great for kids to learn songs like this. I think here on Theme Time Radio Hour, we're all grown-ups, so why don't we listen to the original version, Big Rock Candy Mountain by Harry McClintock. I hope that helps you out, Candy. Have fun in the Valentine City.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to have cleared that up.
One evening as the sun went down and the jungle fire was burning, down the track came a hobo hiking, and he said, "Boys, I'm not turning. I'm headed for a land that's far away beside the crystal fountains. So come with me, we'll go and see the Big Rock Candy Mountains. In the Big Rock Candy Mountains, there's a land that's fair and bright, where the handouts grow on bushes and you sleep out every night, where the boxcars all are empty and the sun shines every day on the birds and the bees and the cigarette trees, the lemonade springs where the bluebird sings in the Big Rock Candy Mountains. In the Big Rock Candy Mountains, all the cops have wooden legs, and the bulldogs all have rubber teeth, and the hens lay soft-boiled eggs. The farmers' trees are full of fruit, and the barns are full of hay. Oh, I'm bound to go where there ain't no snow, where the rain don't fall, the wind don't blow, in the Big Rock Candy Mountains. In the Big Rock Candy Mountains, you never change your socks, and the little streams of alcohol come a-trickling down the rocks. The brakemen have to tip their hats, and the railroad bulls are blind. There's a lake of stew and a whiskey too. You can paddle all around 'em in a big canoe in the Big Rock Candy Mountains. In the Big Rock Candy Mountains, the jails are made of tin, and you can walk right out again as soon as you are in. There ain't no short-handled shovels, no axes, saws, or picks. I'm a-going to stay where you sleep all day, where they hung the Turk that invented work in the Big Rock Candy Mountains. I'll see you all this coming fall in the Big Rock Candy Mountain.
That was Harry McClintock in the Big Rock Candy Mountain on Theme Time Radio Hour. We talk about candy and other sugar-related items.
I put down a craving once. No. Candy, sweets. I used to be eating it all the time. Got examined for the Army. They said, "You got sugar in your blood, friend. You got to give up sweets forever. It's goodbye, Charlie." I had to give up candy. My gums bleed for you.
Here's one of the lesser-known groups on Stax. They only did 5 singles, and only this one was a hit. They were originally called the Duntinos in the late 50s and sung around their school and local clubs in Memphis. Carla Thomas heard them and brought them into Stax. They had a little bit of help on this song. It was written by Steve Cropper and Isaac Hayes, and it reached number 12 on the R&B charts in 1965. Here are the Astors and Candy. The Astors and Candy. I don't know how that song got its name, but here's how some famous candies got their names. The Tootsie Roll was named after Tootsie, not the movie, but the 5-year-old daughter of Tootsie Roll inventor Leo Hirschfeld, who was an Austrian immigrant who began selling them in New York City in 1905. I wonder if his daughter's name was Mildred, if we'd be eating Mildred rolls. Doesn't roll off the tongue as well. Milk Duds were created in 1926. They were trying to produce a perfectly round candy, but they kept coming out lopsided. They were still delicious though, so they marketed these Duds. The Three Musketeer bar was originally made as a 3-flavored bar, featuring chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry nougat. And Pez, the only candy that comes out of a dispenser, was invented in 1927 by Edward Haas III. The original candy was a compressed sugar tablet filled with peppermint oil. It was made for adults as an alternative to smoking. The name came from the first, middle, and last letter of the German word for peppermint. Cotton candy was originally called Fairy Floss. In 1920, it was renamed Cotton Candy, a change for the better.
What do you want when you gotta eat something? And it's gotta be sweet, and it's gotta be a lot, and you gotta have it now. What do you want? Lip smacking, whip backing, patty whacking, ink and knacking, dilger racking, scalawacking, cracker jacking, cracker jack. Candy coated popcorn, peanuts and a fries. That's what you get in Cracker Jack.
Here's two songwriters who also wrote some songs apart from each other. Paul McCartney, I think you know, but he wrote a few songs in the 80s with Elvis Costello. My Brave Face was one of McCartney's best records in 1989, and some of the compositions appeared on other McCartney records, as well as on some of Elvis's records. Here's one from Elvis's Mighty Like a Rose. It's a song about a girl, and well, you know the rest. She's so like candy. Listen to the drums on this record. They're quite good. You owe me $5, Jim.
Here lies the powder and perfume. The pretty clothes are scattered round the room, and it's so like candy. Here lies the lipstick and the face. The colored tablets keep it all in place, and it's so like candy, so like candy. What did I do to make you go? Why must it be the one that I have to love so like candy? Here lies a picture of a girl. Her arms are tight around that lucky guy, and it's so like candy. And in her eyes a certain look I thought I'd seen the last of long ago, and it's so like candy, so like candy. What did I do to make her go? Why must it be the one that I have to love so? I remember the day that that picture was taken. We were so happy, but that's all I can. She seemed so sweet to me. I was mistaken. Oh no, not that again. But that's all I can. She just can't face the day, so she turns and melts away. Here lie the records that she scratched, and on the sleeve I find a note attached, and it's so like candy. My darling dear, it's such a waste. She couldn't say goodbye, but I admire her taste, and it's so like
Elvis Costello, So Like Candy, written by him and Paul McCartney, here on Theme Time Radio Hour. We heard a couple of records from Excello today, and if there's one label that's swampier than Excello, it's Eddie Schuler's Go Band Records. This is the first Cajun record to reach the Billboard Hot 100. It's by the former fiddle player and band leader of the Hillbilly Ramblers, who later changed their name to Cleveland Crochet and the Sugar Bees after this song climbed up the charts. Here they are, Cleveland Crochet and the Sugar Bees, with a song of the same name, Sugar Bee. Record hit the charts with accordion or a guitar like that. Been much too long. It's not that I like old music, it's just that I'm not hearing anything like that from out left field nowadays.
How did you like the chocolate factory, Charlie?
I think it's the most wonderful place in the whole world.
I'm very pleased to hear you say that, because I'm giving it to you. That's all right, isn't it?
You're giving Charlie the...
I can't go on forever, and I don't really want to try. So who can I trust to run the factory when I leave?
Here's a guy who could talk about Trotsky as well as about the Delta Blues. He could tell you about politics and literature, could identify all the French symbolist poets, and play blues and ragtime on the guitar. Or could talk about Dave Van Ronk for a long time. He could totally electrify a coffee house, and you could never tell when he was drawing to an inside street. It was a privilege to know him. He was a singular individual. You'd hear in just one song will only give you a clue. Here's Dave Van Ronk, Candyman.
Candyman, salty dog. Candyman, salty dog. Candyman, salty dog. You won't be my Candyman, I won't be your salty dog. Little red light, little green light. Little red light, little green light. Little red light, little green light. Stop on the red and you go on the green. Don't you mess with me, it's the in between. Run to get the bucket, get the baby some beer. Run to get the bucket, get the baby some beer. Run to get the bucket. Yeah, go on, get your fat ass out of here. I'll run to get the bucket. I'll run, get the bucket, get the beats, and beer, I do anything in the start of my work. Keep my Candyman home. Gingerbread man, Santa Claus. Gingerbread man, Santa Claus. Gingerbread man, Santa Claus. A gingerbread man with raisins for his eyes, gonna eat them just quick as I can. Big leg item, 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 big leg item. I love that big leg girl, God knows I do. With your peppermint stick and your big brass band. Peppermint stick, big brass band. Oh, peppermint stick, big brass band. I wish I was in New Orleans or sitting on a candy stand. Yes, yes.
Dave Van Ronk, Candyman, here on Theme Time Radio Hour. It's just about time for us to go. But there's one last thing I have to get you to do. Cavities are caused by a chain of events that start when food is allowed to remain on your teeth. The worst thing you can leave is sugar, because the bacteria that naturally live in your mouth love it. Every time you eat or drink something sugary, your teeth are under acid attack for up to 1 hour. When you eat something sugary, the bacteria turn the sugar into energy and produce harmful acids. The acid eats into the enamel and can cause tooth decay. What I want you to do is go brush your teeth. But if you've been eating candy, wait an hour, because eating and drinking naturally weakens the enamel on your teeth. Brushing right afterwards can cause tiny particles of the enamel to be brushed away. So once you're done eating, wait an hour and go brush your teeth so you have a nice, bright, shiny smile. When I see you again next week, see you then.
Thanks for listening to Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan. Produced by Eddie Gorodetsky, and the associate producer is Anita Fitzgerald. Continuity is by Eats Martin, and the editor is Damian Rodriguez. The supervising editor is Rob McCumber. The research team is Diane Lapson and Bernie Bernstein, with additional research courtesy of Lynn Sheridan, April Hayes, Callie Gladman, Terrence Michael, Sean Patrick, and Matthew Meltzer. Robert Bauer was the librarian, and the production coordinator was Debbie Sweeney. Production assistance is courtesy of Jim McBeam, and special thanks go out to Randy Azrati, Coco Shinomiya, Samson's Diner, and Lee Abrams. Tex Carbone was our director of studio operations. Recorded in Studio B of the historic Abernathy building, built in 1848. It's a Greywater Park production in association with Big Red Tree. This is your announcer, Pierre Mancini, speaking. Are you going to join us next week when our subject is questions?